Hey from the future, it's String, and today we're having an awesome chat about cannabis and marketing. I'm with
Elisabeth South. I'm with South House Group and I'm a cannabis specialist, so I'm here to answer all your questions.
Hey from the future, it's String. I'm about to throw some epic knowledge bombs and fried chicken at you. Get ready. I really want to know all about cannabis marketing. And I know it's a really hot trend right now, but a lot of people are kind of scared of like talking about it openly. But I feel like this is like a niche market that people want to get into. How do you promote cannabis in a social space where they kind of block it right now?
Yeah, well, it's been a really big issue. I would say up until Prop 64 was passed in California, it was a major issue. Instagram accounts were getting shut down, Facebook accounts, and they would have gotten up to, let's say, 500,000 followers, and Instagram has the right to shut you down whenever they want, and they do with no explanation. So they'd have to start over. So it made a lot of people afraid to really market at all. But the other issue is, a lot of people who do indulge in cannabis use it, whether it's recreational or medical. There's a stigma. And I think it's still a stigma that we're kind of pushing against, because a lot of people will automatically say, oh, you want to get stoned, or, oh, you're a pothead, if you use marijuana.
Okay, I'm going to be like open about it, but I have recreationally done it before, especially since California is super like all about it, and people don't seem to be offended about it because everyone's like, hey, you do it, it's cool. Really smart people take dope.
I would agree with that. I mean, I think I'm pretty smart too.
Yeah.
No, I mean, a lot of major business owners do. It's just they won't say it in a circle that they don't know it's accepted, because a lot of traditional people, I would say even in the Midwest, tend to, it's this reefer madness. Did you ever see that reefer madness?
Is it a movie?
Yeah, it's terrible. Like, they smoke weed and they go crazy, or, they want to kill people. And it's like...
I think everyone does it. Like, it's one of those drugs where everyone does it, but they don't do it openly, but it's an open secret.
I would say it's getting more that way. One of the biggest issues is, I feel more than anyone, is for women. And it was like that with even cigarettes until they were called fire torches, and it became popularized through debutantes. And we're kind of doing that same thing now. Celebrities and people who are very intelligent and successful are saying, yeah, I like weed, I like cannabis. It's really not a big deal.
Okay, what's like the most trendy thing happening right now? Because like there's so many things about cannabis. Edibles, there's like microdosing. Like this is the first time I heard about microdosing. Like,
really?
Yeah, it's like, what is it? Like what is microdosing in cannabis?
So microdosing is something that, we represent a company called Blackleaf, and they've been doing it for about 1.5 years now. But if you were at the Cannabis Cup this past year, it was I think about 2 months ago, microdosing is all the rage because it's a big thing that athletes are doing. And I can tell you from personal experience that microdosing, while say for example you want to go running, you would take 5 milligrams. Microdosing starts 5 to 10 milligrams. And it's generally what they call newbies are doing microdosing, but also athletes as well. And so you would mix maybe 5 milligrams of that cannabis oil into your protein shake and take it and then go run. So usually somebody who can run 5 miles will say, I ran actually 7 miles today because after the 3rd mile I was warmed up. I didn't feel anything because I was actually relaxed, and it kind of forced my body and my mind to chill out a little bit. You're not high. Microdosing does not get you high.
No, what does it do? Like it just gives you that little push.
It's like having a glass of wine, I think even less. And so if somebody was going out after work for a glass of wine and they had one Riesling, you wouldn't say, oh, they're a drunk. Yeah, they got wasted, It's the same thing.
So pretty much it's like what they put is like a oil into their own food and to easily consume it.
You can put it in oil, or you can they have edibles that are microdosed, whether it's like chocolate dip pretzels, they have it in granola, and you can blend that in your drink, or you can just eat it. They have it in drinks. They have like cannabis water, which I think is disgusting. I have not tried any cannabis drinks that taste half decent, and I've tried everything.
It's like alkaline water is pretty popular as well now.
Yeah, alkaline water is good, but when they put cannabis in it, it's just like this, like I can't stand. They have not perfected that yet.
Okay, so the other thing that you mentioned was something about taking tablets of it as well.
Sublingual. So this year, 2 big things that are trending in 2018 are sublingual and transdermal.
What's transdermal?
And good question. There's a lot of different kinds, but transdermal right now is trending with patches. So almost like a nicotine patch or something, you'll put on a little patch and it has cannabis in it, and that will, sink right into your skin, into your dermis, into your blood skin, and boom, done. So you're not going to smell, they won't smell that you've been smoking, and et cetera. But I'm not exactly sure why it's so popular.
Is it because like it goes into your bloodstream the fastest?
Yeah, but you can get that same effect with sublinguals, like something you put under your tongue. Now, here may be one thing. A lot of people don't like the taste of oil, even if it's masked. So with the transdermal, you won't taste anything. And I feel like that's kind of a big selling point.
It sounds like women will like this because it's all about the taste, right?
And women do. And the biggest market that is exploding in the cannabis market, the newbies, the largest group would be women between the ages of 25 and 44. So think about that.
Like professional women?
Professional women.
Who have money and they want to have like these kind of like these women.
They want to put it in their purse. They'll get like a little vape and they'll tuck it in their purse to go to the clubs or, you know, to go to dinner right before dinner. And they have like the most beautiful little vapes you've seen. Like
you mentioned like a really interesting movie where it's like it's all about, it's sexy almost to do these like smoking cigarettes, right? That was like something that's really like awesome right now. But it seems like it's all about the convenience and looking, you know, it's repackaged.
Sexy.
It's repackaged.
It's all about that marketing. So what you see a lot in cannabis brands are hot chicks, you know, with really nice bodies and tight clothes, vaping. Or, you know, smoking from a really pretty bong. They have these vases that look like flower vases now in your house.
Okay, I'm glad because it was, you know, like they usually equipment or like, you know, tools that came out of it, it does look like a sexual organ.
It does.
A particular sexual organ.
I would say phallic. They're very phallic shaped.
She said it. They look like that pretty much. It's like, what's with this thing? At the moment, it's super sexy for women to, like newbies, to get into cannabis that you could carry in your purse and stuff.
Well, it's not just a typical vape. Like used to, vapes would be like this big and then they went this big, like you had a PAX 1, 2, 3, and they tried all these different things. But then they started saying, well, what if we make these with 14 karat gold? You know, they're plated in that. And what if we put diamonds on them? What if we dip them in platinum? And so, of course, now, especially out here in Beverly Hills and in LA, of course, I go out to events with a lot of these women who have diamond encrusted vapes. And
that's amazing.
It makes it so much more fun because you're like, this is so pretty.
It's like if my videographer dude was like, I've seen that. I've seen that.
You see it, yeah.
What's bizarre is like in California, because it's so open, they're creating like trends around it and fashions and things. It's like picks and shovels. During the gold rush, it's not what people got rich by selling ancillary equipments. Picks and shovels. And I think that's what's happening in the green space right now, in this like green tsunami space right now.
Absolutely. I mean, marketing is a huge part of it. I mean, well, I don't even know if you've seen this, but the jewelry, they have some really beautiful cannabis leaf jewelry. Necklaces, I mean, I'm talking like designer styles. It's not this stuff that you see at the weed shops where they have bongs and you're like, oh, that's great, it's a huge leaf, I'm gonna get it. Like, it's done classy and beautiful. And I think it's a way of people kind of putting it out there saying, I'm cannabis friendly, you know, also I'm a professional woman and I have great fashion and yeah, I love cannabis. It's like, it's kind of taking away that stigma because you see it on people. Like sometimes I'll wear a shirt with a cannabis leaf and it has, you know, the company name on it, who I'm representing. And I have some people give me looks. I swear to God, they're like, you know, like keep away from my kids kind of a thing.
Once you put diamonds onto it, it's a whole new level.
Yeah, it's
whole new value.
It's acceptable.
So it's like at the moment, like influence marketing, does it still count inside the cannabis space?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Have you seen Wiz Khalifa?
Tell me about Wiz Khalifa.
Everything. He does a great job. I mean, they're putting their names behind dispensaries, he actually has his own line of cannabis, you know, a flower you see in the shops, and now it's going to edibles. You have a lot of celebrities getting behind it, and who are actually, before it was them coming out and saying, yeah, I smoked weed when I was 16, you know.
But they made a whole business out of it.
Yeah, they're making a lot of money. You have influencers in everything, and now the influencers in cannabis really are hot chicks who look like they're between the ages of 18 and 25, and who look fit because, you know, the past idea of a stoner, right, was somebody who was slobby and they're sitting there playing video games, they haven't showered and things like that, like college guys. No offense to college guys, but
like Beavis and Butthead kind of style.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, Beavis and Butthead, you're not that cool anymore.
I still like the retro, but yeah, you're right.
And now like the influence marketing, like Instagram, they're like pretty much like promoting these things by wearing them. So they don't have to be very like in your face, but just like saying, hey, I'm proud to be part of this space.
Yeah, and it's somehow becoming really sexy to see girls vape and hit a bong, but not just hit it and be like, I'm good. You know, like you're used to seeing with your friends. It's like, they'll take it in and they show you exactly how you should exhale and smile and like totally model it.
Yeah. So how can businesses who are interested in this space like tap into the influencer marketing space? Would you recommend in regards to like partnering up with the right influencer?
Well, you have to find someone who represents your brand because cannabis is not just flower anymore. You know, it's edibles, it's tinctures, it's recreational and medical. So, and the thing that's really we've seen expanding in the California market is health edibles, vegan. I mean, vegans are a large group of consumers of cannabis who they're not just wanting to get high, they want to take care of their bodies. So they believe in the power and the healing power of CBD and THC and all the different cannabinoids. And they want something that offers something to their health. So they want vegan options. They want it in granola or a vegan chocolate.
I met a kosher one.
They have those too.
It's like a super niche, but they have like kosher cannabis because like, you know, I met a parent who have like kids like, you know, who needed, something alternative beside what they've seen before. So they created their own line just because of they were forced to do something about it. So I'm thinking like, you know, cannabis is like an interesting space to play around.
It really is, but it's so new that you have I see marketing companies that are specifically working with cannabis, within the cannabis industry, but we have so little research. I mean, they have the research from Colorado because they've been in the game longer, but the Colorado market is totally different than the cannabis, than the California cannabis market. It's a different geographical area and a different type.
Demographic?
Exactly, totally different demographic. So we're really pioneers, and it's the wild, wild west. But to get involved in marketing, it's going to be a lot of experiential marketing, you know.
And I have to say, like, you know, just like basic stuff like Facebook ads, you can't use the word cannabis into it, but then people are doing super creative ways of promoting cannabis.
Yeah.
Like influence marketing, but what have you seen some good examples of?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I have seen some good examples. And what they're marketing is the lifestyle. So, for example, you'll see a pretty girl and her boyfriend riding bicycles and smiling at each other in the winds in their hair, or them hiking in the forest that looks like it would be in, you know, upstate.
Oh, it'd be like diamond encrusted thing to give it high value things. It's
yes.
Like, so it's like everyday people doing everyday things, but they just do it. They have, instead of smoking, they have cannabis stuff.
Yeah, yeah. It's selling a lifestyle because, you know, it's selling a lifestyle because selling cannabis, it just doesn't work anymore. You have too many people who are interested in it, and you have to actually, before people want to buy your product, they want to buy your lifestyle, no matter what it is, whether it's yoga wear, right? Whether it's makeup, food, you're selling a lifestyle, and that's what you're going to see successful businesses doing.
Like, cool. And if people want to know more about like cannabis marketing, how can they reach out to you?
Well, they can reach us at South House Group. I'm going to put this on the bottom of the screen. It's hard to spell.
It's fine. I'll make sure that you have your name on the bottom.
Yeah, so South House Group, we represent a lot of people in the cannabis space, whether it's mobile applications or just straight marketing.
And plus, like, you do policy stuff as well. So I think that's a great move, by the way.
We do work heavily in licensing with some attorneys that have been in the game since the 70s and are heavily involved with NORML.
So what are your plans for like 2018?
Ooh, I think that would really just be focusing on expanding our marketing because the buyers are there. It's just about kind of educating people, I'd say, more than anything, to say you don't have to be scared. This is where we get our products from. Yes, they are tested. Here's the labs we test with. And that's another big thing I want to say in marketing. Because it's so new and we've had issues with bad oil in the industry, you got to get people who are reputable. And to be reputable, you have to have those licenses and to say, we use these labs. There's only 2 labs here in California that people trust.
Oh, really? And you have like work with those 2 labs?
Yeah, but that's the only labs we work with. Absolutely, yeah. We don't want people eating our products or even in the marketing being responsible for people getting sick or having something that's bad. That will kill the entire industry, or at least that specific brand.
Because I feel like everyone is trying to have any excuse to shut it down. So you have to be super reputable and have good reputations, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Because anytime you have a new item on the market, especially that would be something that they could say, well, okay, it's mind altering. You know, you want to make sure that that's dosed right. Otherwise, your first experience could not be as pleasant. as it would otherwise.
Thank you so much for letting me in the house. Also understanding what the green tsunami space is like as well. Thank you so much,
Well,
Elizabeth.
I think I could give you some samples before you go, so.
Yeah, definitely.